going on, guys? It's Raymond J. I'm 1000 here today to do a review on the GOG Extcy. It is the entry-level sort of tournament marker from GOG. A very nice marker. We're going to take it on over to the table, do a little bit of an unboxing and review, some shooting, and then a conclusion. Alrighty, so here we are with the GOG Extcy. We're going to quickly open it up, but looking at the case, it's a very nice hard case. A bit smaller than the GOG G1 scenario markers case. Carries your marker just fine. When you are taking it off, I realize though, when I open it up for the first time, if you really want to, it seems that this handle here can come off just like that. Not sure why they necessarily did that, but you know, guess just an added feature. So looking in the box, you can see what it all comes with. You got your marker here, of course, the GOG Extcy. Also going to come with a CD manual. In my opinion, I like to have a book or a pamphlet with mine. Not a huge fan of the CD manual, but it's still kind of nice. You get that added feature. Get a nice Smart Parts barrel sock. Just a little parts kit with some extra detents and some O-rings. And an Allen key set. And a 14-inch barrel. If I'm correct, pretty sure it's 14 inches. Right? So that's pretty much all you're going to get in the case. Standard packaging does its job. Just set this to the side. So the GOG Extcy is basically the Ion of Smart Parts, or the Ion of GOG. Many people know about the Ion XC, or just the standard Ion tournament sort of level paintball marker, entry level paintball marker. That when it came out, it was retailing, I think, just around $400 or $500. I was completely wrong there. I don't know what I was saying. But you can get the GOG Extcy for about $250 on a scale. Let's see if it focuses there. Yeah, about $259. Regular, close to $300. So just a quick mistake I made there. And yeah, let's get on with the video. And this is pretty much what you're going to get here. It's a very nice marker, I must say. I really liked playing with it. It was a lot of fun. A couple things, there's obviously pros and cons. We're going to go over that. So we're going to start from the top to bottom, basically, about what I like about the gun and what I dislike about it. So we'll start off with the barrel. It's a 14-inch standard barrel. Stock, obviously. Has some nice porting. Nothing too crazy. It's going to do the job just fine. It's honed pretty good. It's got nice milling. You can't really go much with that. It's just a standard one piece, so if you really want to upgrade it, you can. Yeah, standard barrel. Moving on to the regulator. It is, again, the same regulator that comes on the DLX Lux. So you're going to get basically the same regulator that's on a high-end marker, just with a different milling and a bit of a different sort of design. Only issue is with these, again, it has on the bottom, it's a sort of snap ring, and you need to get a special pair of snap ring pliers for that. So that's the only downside. It's not very user-friendly of a regulator, but, you know, you don't really need to do too much with this. It's just kind of a, you know, kind of plug-in-and-play marker. Again, going up, I forgot to mention that the barrel is ion threaded or impulse threaded, so you can't put a standard auto cock or threaded barrel on there. But if you want to go and get yourself a freak kit, you can, and that's gonna be one. It's by far probably one of the better barrels on the market. Definitely up there with the Dye Ultralights. Moving on down, we're gonna go to the feed neck. It's just a standard clamping feed neck, but I do like it's not very high. Like, it's not up an extreme amount from the marker. It's kind of a nice low profile clamping feed neck. It kind of reminds me of what the old Proto SLG had, just with this small little Allen key screw sort of clamping feed neck. Does the trick, holds pretty much any hopper on the market. Does come with eyes, as you see the eye covers here. Very nice feature to have in any marker. I would recommend you play with eyes on at all time. So it just basically, you know, make sure you're not going to break any balls. Just kind of a nice feature to have. Moving on down, we have just some sort of, I think it's just like, yeah, it is a metal frame here. It almost seemed like it was composite. I'm just feeling it. I'm not sure if this grip is metal or composite. But again, it does the trick. I'm pretty sure that they changed it up with the Extcy and pretty much made everything metal, except obviously for the color body here, which is kind of like this tacky composite rubber material here with a hard plastic. It's fine. So you can actually upgrade and change the colors of the Extcy if you want to. You can buy color kits for them. I like the standard black, or definitely the green and black is a cool one too. The grip frame feels pretty nice, and this is also including with the trigger. The trigger it's good. I like the trigger. It's very snappy, but you don't really have much to play with. It basically has this one screw here. I'll show you there. Just has that one screw that you adjust to pretty much just the travel. When it hits that micro switch, the activation point, you can adjust it more so it kind of just doesn't have so much pull afterwards. But it's just a standard trigger. I don't really see a need to upgrade it that much because it is a nice sights trigger design. So, and it's a nice trigger just to kind of sit on, and you can do a fair bit of damage on semi-automatic. Moving on to the board, I want to get into a bit more details of it later, but my favorite thing I find about these boards on the newer markers is that they're instant on. I know the Ion back in the day used to have a lot of problems with it turning on. You had to hold it down and you had to get a nail in there, but here, as you see, it's on just with the simple tap. As you see, the eyes are activated, so it's not going to shoot until there is something inside of the breech at all. Pretty nice. And turning it off is just simple. Hold the button down for a couple seconds, going to turn red, then your eyes are off. Holding it down for about 3 seconds or 2, and then your whole entire gun is off. Moving on down the gun, we're going to go into the ASA. But before we hop onto that, you can see that it is a braided line it comes with. It doesn't come with a macro line. So if you really want to get the fittings and the macro line, you can do that and switch the braided line out for a macro line. However, I like the braided line. This gun isn't really meant for people to be taking it apart constantly. They kind of made it so it's just user friendly. You can just take it out of the box, put it in an air tank or a CO2 tank, which is kind of cool, and get a hopper and some paint and start playing, which is awesome. So no one really needs to upgrade this, but braided line. But the ASA, what I really noticed was it's basically the exact same ASA you see on the Lux, except with macro line fittings. Now, why I say that is because it has the twist knob of the Lux, and the only thing I found that was a problem when I had my Lux, and previous Luxes beforehand I've seen have this happen, the ASA knob has a small little O-ring on the inside. I'll show you here. See there? I think this one's just a urethane O-ring, so it's going to hold up a bit better. But the O-ring here tears apart extremely easily, and I hate that. I had to go through, I think, about 4 O-rings with my Lux, and I feel like you're probably going to have to do the same unless you upgrade to a urethane O-ring, then you're not going to have to go through as many. I don't understand why it does that, and that's not even from me taking it out constantly. That's just from standard, turning it on with your air tank. So you are getting a pretty decent on and off regulator, which is nice, but I just don't like that problem with it. That's the only thing I'd say. So moving on to the bolts, it's very easy to take it out. All you got to do is get the biggest Allen key in your set, put the Allen key into the back cap there, like so. Just twist it off. Got it in there nice and tight. One sec. There we go. Right, so twisting it off there. Right, and there's the bolt. Now, do notice that it is basically the same bolt you're gonna find in the NV or the GOG G1. Not very fancy, but it does the trick. It's a very smooth shooting marker, which is by far probably one of my favorite things about it. I found that GOG and Lux and basically just GOG, Lux, and Smart Parts when it was out, because it seems that Smart Parts basically turned into GOG. They do a really good job with their markers. They shoot very, very smooth, which is probably why I think they have a really high self factor to them. Because I found Plain Eclipse makes the ETHA and the ETEX, and they're very, very good markers, do not get me wrong. But they don't shoot nearly as smooth as I found the GOG markers do. And I would say this shoots pretty close, or if not better, to the smoothness of the Empire Axe. And that is saying a lot because the Empire Axe is a fantastic marker. So we're going to quickly just take this outside and we're going to do a little bit of a shooting video. And we'll just, after that we'll explain how the board works and just a wrap up. Alrighty guys, so here we are outside with the GOG Extcy. Got it sitting on semi-automatic, completely stock trigger. Haven't adjusted anything but the velocity. So it's shooting at right now 253 250, 260, 259. Not bad. Alrighty, got 1,000 in the tanks. Let's see if we can get through all this. Alright, and that's it. Alrighty, so as you can see from the shooting video, it's shot very nice, very smooth shooting. I was on semi-automatic and I did not adjust the trigger from stock, so it's a consistent trigger. It shoots pretty good. Now, what I want to do is I want to get more in-depth into the board. Now, what you want to do is you want to activate or deactivate the tournament lock. Alright, so if you have the tournament lock on, that means that nothing's really going to happen if you hold down the trigger and press the button to go into the programming mode. Now I'll quickly show you here, when attaching it. Just give me a sec. Don't want to rip anything, so do be careful. Now, what you will want to do to activate or deactivate the tournament lock is hold down the trigger like so. Alright? And tap the battery against its against the harness. So you see here. Let's go here just one sec. Oh, my bad, wrong way. Alright, so you see it blinked red. That means, if I am correct, that the tournament lock is on. If I'm right. Yep. So that means that the tournament lock is on. Now, to deactivate that, what you want to do is tap it on and it will go green. That means that is off. So as you see in here, once we put the battery all the way back in, alright, just set it right in there like that. When we hold down the trigger and press the button, it will go into the programming mode like so. Now, the board has a lot to offer, reading in the manual, different sort of settings you can do. As you see right now, you're going to have your firing mode, alright, as solid red. Clicking it again, you're going to go down into vision, which just basically makes, you know, you can delay the eyes or whatnot. I would not adjust many of these, but it just offers a lot actually with this board. As you see here, I think a solid yellow color, or if I'm correct, yep, a solid yellow is dwell. Then it goes into blinking fast red, which is BPS cap. Then blinks fast green is BPS fine adjustment. That's all your 0.5s. Then it goes into burst count. Then it goes into pulse to enter, enter rate, sustain rate, first shot drop, compensation, and vision hardware. Alright, then you go all the way back into the firing modes. So I'm not really going to adjust too much, but the balls per second, and I want to quickly show you how to do that. Now, each of the modes, it gives you sort of a list on how to do it. What you want to do is you want to hold down the trigger on the select mode, right? And it's going to go away, and it's going to blink once. Now, if you leave it for too long, that's going to just completely cancel it out, and then you won't be able to adjust it. So we're going to change it to semi-automatic, because I did adjust it, and it now is on PSBs. So we're going to hold it down, I'm going to go away, click it once. I'm going to quickly show you here. 1. Now it's on semi-automatic when I turn it off. Now, I want to turn it on to PSP and leave it there, so we're going to hold it down. I'm going to go off, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Blinks 4 times to indicate that you clicked it 4 times, and now it is on PSP when we turn it off. Alrighty, so to quickly wrap up the GOG Enemy review, it is a really cool marker. I really like it. It shoots very smooth. It doesn't have the ergonomic feel I find as a high-end, but you're not paying the price of a high-end, but you're getting a gun that just feels nice and solid. And to correct myself, the grip frame is all metal. The only thing that I noticed that is composite is the feed neck, the eye covers, and the kind of the color body kit. The efficiency on this marker is okay. You're getting a really smooth shot, so you're basically going to be getting about 7 to 8 pods on a 45 fill. So it's going to get you through probably a game of, X-Ball or a point of X-Ball. But if you're going to just take this out and play it for some recreation, it is definitely going to hold up to what you're going to put it through. It is a very solid marker. When nothing really seems to be loose or anything, and just the feel of it feels nice and sturdy. Put a nice 68-45 on there, and you got yourself a really good shooter. So guys, if you like this marker, and this review helps you out and you want to pick one up for yourself, definitely go check out Select Paintball down in Vaughan, and I also think in the Niagara area. They're going to have this gun and many more paintball accessories, gear, and guns for you down there. So definitely go check them out. And once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and have yourselves a great day. See you later.